Yes, I know. Samantha. Big. I've said after all these years, you expect that things can't stay perfect.
Yeah. No, Paul.
Oh no, because she told you.
Oh no, yeah. That's right. Went down that way. Yeah, just read it, sorry.
I mean, if you were to say this is something made in Staffordshire potteries in 1920 or something, you'd think it would, wouldn't you?
It's not bad for tomorrow morning, is it? We're all right. Okay, brilliant. And so, did say no?
Knickers.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, you can actually, because they're all shit scared of this sort of stuff, because and everything, like, scared of going into it. I was like, fake, and all this, and it just like knickers. And oh, sorry. Okay, icons brings out the worst in people, greed and all that. And it's like it's still saying that Saatchi Gallery. So I was like, if to go into it, it's not going to defeat it. It's not going to go away by itself. So, like, if you need to get out of it, you've got to go further into it. And that's the only reason I'm here, really. So I know it's evil, and it's still a sort of negative spiritual influence over humanity. You know what I mean? So I've got to sort of defeat it, because even if you say the Saatchi Gallery is the Jew power, if you thought they were bad, just have a look at this lot. Do you know what I mean? So. Just sort of commentary, live stream, you know. Sorry. Mates. Watching this now. America, back home. Deutschland. I assume it's something else. Yeah, I know. Because they're like assuming some sort of other thing. Everyone's scared to talk between the two. I've said, like, technicians of spaceship Hawkwind. Everyone's just horrified that I said that. And then one guy starts laughing because he knows what that means. Like in Freemasonic language, the language of Freemasons and stuff. Well, that's it though, isn't it? So they're still sort of using it. But the actual roots of the evil, true evils in this, not the Jews. The Jews were the ones that said, you know, this was wrong, and they sort of devised ways, Christian psalms, and truthfully, this, you know, this is where they take it. It's the king, the queen, and it's like trying to sort of balance it with that in the New Testament. And the old sort of Jerusalem, which was what would have been the thing in its day to get rid of all this, and then New Jerusalem, Rome, sort of destroying them when the Jews become evil. So if they took it this way, they could say it's because that this is basically the thing that was asking for itself, and it went into the king's chamber, and it was summoning demons and stuff like that to actually defeat this. So it's only going in there to summon demons as an occultist and a Freemason, but only to destroy them. So he's actually more of a sort of exorcist, a Christian exorcist, not really someone that had any sort of value in this sort of stuff. Because that's like a library where I was asking people to be quiet, so I'm like live streaming it, talk to you a lot, and sort of breaking it, so there's a taboo in it where people weren't allowed to talk. So that and that was the obstacle to their free speech. They didn't have free speech. So in a way, it's like black people, Egypt or Israel, whoever, saying you can't say certain things because that will sort of offend these guys that are sleeping here and in the tombs. So I'm like, you know, trying to sort of put an American sort of thing on it where, you know, it could sort of be a movie or something.
I know, yeah, that's what I like about it. I could see myself wearing it.
But they're still trying to sort of bleed stuff out of it, where they still have value in it. It's like, we're going to go in and curse people, we're going to spiritually bleed people with our beetles and stuff and wear them around our necks, and, you know, so we can be beautiful and sit in like a question time or something and put, do you know what I mean? like the point that we're going to manipulate this sort of spiritual power for our own sort of evil beliefs. So I'm like, no, that's wrong, that's not the way to do it, you know. Don't believe in that at all. I'm here to neutralise it, put it into the rivers and into the oceans and stuff, and wash away all the spells and curses, just as they would have done in when they were, you know, walking the earth. So I suppose the time, and they built up all the curse and the spiritual magic power of beauty and all this, like animal magnetism, and they just smear the mummies with feces and perfume and sing these incantations and stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's what they did, and that create this sort of disease that whoever went into it, whoever opened the tomb, there were all these like bugs and beetles that they put in there to deter people that would have become a nasty disease, and so they made the curse that they wrote about, that 20,000 score of beetles and horrible, nasty, crawly, creepy, sort of girly jewels and beans that can sort of plague the world. But that's just something that they created. Whichever poor bastard discovered the tomb and opened it, whoever did it would sort of fall prey to that. And then, so everyone's scared to go into it. Everyone's think the girls, what they have for these black sort of pharaohs, and the curse of the pharaohs, exactly. So I'm like, Freemasons know that, and I'm Freemason, and where's nothing, there's nothing in it, because the sort of stuff they've got now, where there's no spiritual curse, the chemicals, the beetles. Sorry.
We don't really want to hear you in the whole room.
Oh, I'll go somewhere else. Sorry, I don't mean to disturb anyone. Sorry about that. Sincerely. Anyway, so I asked to keep my mouth shut a bit, so I don't want to disturb people, so I'm sort of just leave you guys to sort of to say horrible sort of offensive things. It's like the Holy Grail or something. The Egyptian Holy Grail.
Inside Tutankhamun's tomb sat a beautiful chalice, a wishing cup, carved from alabaster. The wishing cup bears Tutankhamun's name and a wish for his eternity. May your car live millions of years. May your eyes see wonderful things. But the preparation of his body and his tomb and all the spells were not enough to ensure wonderful things for Tutankhamun in the afterlife. The living had to remember the dead and continue to speak their names. Pharaohs erected temples and statues to keep their names alive. Priests spoke their names in daily rituals. But Tutankhamun's brief reign was marked by political turmoil. After he died, his successors wanted every trace of the boy king erased. Most of his monuments were destroyed. Wherever his name had been carved, it was removed and replaced. The funerary cult to keep his memory alive was demolished. No one performed rituals or spoke his name. Any mention of him was erased from the royal list of the kings of Egypt. Tutankhamun was written out of history, his name forgotten, and so it remained for thousands of years. Throughout the millennia, this wishing cup sat in the dark near the entrance of Tutankhamun's tomb, until November 26, 1922, when Carter and Carnarvon broke through the wall.
Can you see anything? Yes. Wonderful things.
later, when Carnarvon arrived, they broke through the sea and found the tomb nearly intact and filled with treasure. News of the find instantly gripped the imagination of the world. Tutankhamun became an overnight sensation. The press declared that Carter and Carnarvon had discovered Aladdin's cave. It was the greatest archaeological find in history, and remains so today. November 6, 1922. Howard Carter was financier.
Congratulations.
The discovery had come after Hussein Abdel Rasool, an Egyptian water boy on Carter's crew, found a snake carved into the bedrock of the back floor. Carter's men uncovered a stairwell that led to the sealed tomb. 2 weeks later, when Carnarvon arrived, they broke through the sea and found the tomb nearly intact and filled with treasure. News of the find instantly gripped the imagination of the world. Tutankhamun became an overnight sensation. The press declared that Carter and Carnarvon had discovered Aladdin's cave. It was the greatest archaeological find in history, and remains so today.
Most of his models were destroyed. Wherever his name had been carved, it was removed and replaced. The funerary cross was never restored.
They're 1930s. America, by the way, United States. So it's like they were sort of making such a sort of false prejudgment, turning out to be so different from what reality actually was, and they were still getting top marks for stuff. But but they didn't even realise, even though they were supposed to be scholars and professors and clever and stuff, that they just didn't know. And then the guy who had the answer, they said he was stupid, and they had to cover up the fact that they'd made such mistakes. It's a bit like the European, they need the EU today, otherwise they'll be held to account for their mistakes. It's like the same thing a few hundred years earlier. Thankfully it didn't have the EU around, so they got found out. No, it's like a gold sort of anchor thing. Like the people that read the news, sort of news anchors, aren't they? Like a sort of dependable source of news that they trust, that used to come on these ships. And the anchor was actually the anchor. I suppose the packet ships, and they'd go from port to port and sort of read the news. Bring newspapers by ship, or stone tablets or something.
It took Howard Carter 10 years to clear Tutankhamun's tomb of over 5,400 invaluable objects. He assembled a team of European and American technologists, highly regarded, and then hired
So everyone says it's like a
He
library,
wasn't
and the tomb is more silent than a library.
Goodness for that.
Everyone's like, if they speak, they're going to go into the curse of the, the equivalent. Like in Alexandria, Library of Alexandria, the sort of original lesbian, and everyone's shit scared of saying something. But he's so superb himself, a big mouth, that he's American, and he's like Freemason and magician and stuff, and he's not afraid of this sort of curse. So they're like, they're scared to say anything. So all saying shh, shh. And it's just like something thousands of years ago, when they sort of silenced humanity, took away humanity's right to free speech. And they're still enforcing the same thing, where they're trying to get everyone to shut their mouths and not to say stuff, not to reveal sort of magical secrets that these guys had. So it's like, I reckon I'm at such a sort of level of occultism, occult study, that it's not going to affect me. And it shouldn't affect anyone else. And they sort of laid down very evil sort of magic and stuff that if the pyramid was like a battery that has like a slight sort of radioactive electrical power, they actually believed that was the that was why they controlled humanity, and the sort of foundation of whether you believe that was the Jews, or whether that was something that they took a stand against, and nobody can agree on anything. So it's like nobody knows, or there's sort of no sort of definite truth in it. It's just like all of the above. And at different times it sort of means different things, but they actually break the spiritual power, go into the tombs, understand it. Definitely, yeah, then that's exactly my belief also. Understanding Islam and their sort of aversion to all this and ways. They sort of know it's true. It's a magical sort of thing behind it. And thanks very much, Tiz. That way. It's really. It's saying.
How are you doing? Yes,
Live streaming to loads of people all over the world. That it's real. They said all that, and whether they believe there's some sort of spiritual power behind it, and they're trying to figure everything out. Well, it's actually really simple. It's just some librarians saying shh, and it's the Library of Alexandria, and they just don't want people to say anything. So it's like they've saved the best bit, the face mask and everything, I reckon. Nice break from that, actually. Where I'm determined to sort of find out where it is. They've hidden the best bit. Warning. Egypt. Okay, let's have a look. Got to check first, not there. Bold as fast, just solid. Make sure I say how to do it first. Hello. Something. Female power. Lesbo power. The lesbo power of the boom 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 boom. Go through it. There's one door. Out the other door. Chemistry. Egypt. La la la. Ultraviolet. Sorry. I suppose once you've seen it, and the more they show it to people, it loses its sort of value. It was so sort of strictly forbidden. It was only the fact that it was forbidden that it was valuable. And once everyone's seen it, it's for everyone. So to find out where the mask is. The mask of Tutankhamun. Directly hit the last bit. Hit the best bit to the last. So take it. Butcher's hook. Have a look at all this. Seen them here. For the last time, the Tutankhamun treasures will be on display in Europe, so we're told. So, make most of it. It's open until March or April, I think, 2020. Absolutely jam-packed. Popular, just quite a small space. Duke of York's headquarters in the Saatchi Gallery. Still haven't seen that face mask, that most famous face mask, so definitely want to find out where they've hidden that face mask, so I just like make a video for my friends. No, it's a video for everyone. Whoever wants to watch it, if it's allowed. So don't want to do anything we're not supposed to. Lest the spirit of Osiris, Apophis, what's the other one? The one protecting Ra from the serpent. Don't really know too much about it, so I thought I knew it and I'm starting to forget. So. Okay, possibly this thing here. Okay. He lives. Silly commentary. I shouldn't be working class because I'm making silly commentary. sorry. Anyway, just like sort of live streaming for whoever, not just for my friends, for everyone. Sorry. I believe it's perfectly okay to do that, so Tutankhamun to live once again, granting the young king the eternal life so desire. So it's Spielberg or someone. So that's it. I didn't see a face mask. They turned around and smiled, and I'm like, no, if they're going to say stuff like that, it's a serious political thing. I might even actually be involved. It's not a joke, you know. That's something that would have to be like implemented as a political thing. It's not a joke. And they're like, no, we don't mean it literally. And we just say stuff. I'm like, oh no, you've got to be careful up here because anything you say, it is taken literally, where they do sort of literally implement it, you know. And they're saying, no, we don't mean things literally, we just say stuff. All right, then. sort of stuff to go to take. £30. So, fancy a t-shirt. Leave a comment. I can't see it because obviously that's their stuff anyway. That's belongs to them. So I've just asked permission first. If he agrees, I'll bring back some stuff. So how much it is.
That's the same.
Sort of thing. Not bad to do it, so it should be working class or something, so it's like it's the best thing for it really, up in the Swiss mountains. Not with working class people. As long as there's working class people, forget it. It's a disaster, but then you know, so it's like that. That's the thing where it's actually the gravity. So get up high in the mountains, American mountains. They're going to sort of drag it down to much sort of lower level. So it's like it's just sort of swag, really. Swag. Saatchi swag. Nice. Mine home. Okay, nice. Got quite a Saatchi. Price tag on it, £42. That's too much for me. But they'd actually pay you to wear it because you know it's your thing. So, well, for the sponsorship and stuff, and sponsor.
It's in storage as well.
So they're leaving like 90% of the people disappointed because they couldn't find the actual death mask of Tutankhamun, the death mask of Tutankhamun. Nobody saw it because they hid it away somewhere. And that's like, I don't know, it's disappointment really, because the thing that gave it value was the fact that they were hiding it. So that was the only reason why it's valuable. But it must have been just like that in Egypt. Same souvenir stands where it was valuable. But just the fact that they restricted the availability of it, and that's why it was valuable. So it's the same Saatchi Tutankhamun sort of thing that we see today. Same practice, same sort of pyramid of business value. That you know, I'm not exactly that sort of instant historically with that sort of thing myself. So yeah. No, it's something else where it's not the thing that they think it is. but it's quite good that they think it's something other than what it is. It's something significant, but it is something different from what they think it is. You see, so that's what makes it permissible, because that's like just that ancient sort of strategies of concealment and coding things that the Egyptian hieroglyphs, everything, that's sort of what it was. I'm going back into it because I didn't get to see it yet. So it's like, you've got loads of working class people, and it's actually the gravity that drags it down rather than the sort of attitude. And so they're just trying to sort of find a way to sort of survive it, you know, just as they do now. How do they sort of stop the 99%? You know, going after Tutankhamun? So they built this pyramid that's like a battery full of curses, supposedly, or it has some sort of secret link through the underworld. So it's a system of protected curses and sandbanks where they used to hide the money. They used to actually hide the money in the sand. You have to go forward 10 paces, right there for 30 paces. All this stuff where nobody found it because they concealed it in the banks, in the sandbanks. And that's how all the creepy crawlies in the sand, and nobody go into it. There's so many working class people guarding it, just like they are today. But it's exactly the same 3,000, 6,000, 8,000 years ago. How do we stop these people from trying to kill us as royal sort of people? Anyway, that's sort of Tutankhamun at Saatchi Gallery, something like that. Duke of York's headquarters. Nice going somewhere and not take you up, I think. That's pretty much it at Chelsea, King's Road. Start talking sort of any silly slow square sort of accent stuff. Go live all over the world. America, Europe, where else? Yeah. So just under 1 hour in there, and that was enough to pretty much see everything, and that we don't really want to go round a second time. Thanks so much, guys. Cheers. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Might as well continue a bit, see a bit. Well, see a bit of Chelsea. This part of England, the upper crust, King's Road. No, because he was making all the commentary and stuff. Into comments, so I can't really I was supposed to be able to see the comments that people were leaving, but it doesn't seem to have connected. I can't see how many people are still watching this, but you know, thanks to everyone that was popping in and out. And going to switch off in a bit to go back to sort of the vicious working class bit of horrible sort of attitudes and stuff after all that. But that's what does it though, and then it's cool, you know. Then of course, no offence is ever meant by that. I'm saying that. I'm some sort of Tory or something, and don't know really. So I figured that if that was sort of okay with overheads and everything, would they still be like that, or would they sort of be thankful, or would they still sort of have these sort of bad attitudes? Like, don't know. Maybe then I'm like. Yeah, that's what I figured, yeah. Because I don't know many. I'll tell you, the only ones you know is like through, you know, philanthropy or something. Or some sort of, thing that they've sort of forced people to do. That's Sloane Square. And that's the King's Road down there. King's Road, River Thames, just sort of somewhere. Anyway, these little sort of serpents slithering about. And don't know really whether to take the walk up Knightsbridge, walk back. Might as well see how far I can sort of take it before the battery conks out. Hello, guys, still going. Whoops, I haven't picked up some sort of dreadful purse from the tomb of Tutankhamun. Oh no, not me. Oh no, speak too soon. So maybe there's something in it, just sort of, at the moment I said that, I sort of slipped over, so maybe there's something in all this magic, and I picked up some sort of affliction. Well, that's one thing, didn't see that face mask, so obviously they were hiding it somewhere, and to be honest, it was a bit of a disappointment, I'd say. Wasn't really worth it, and the only reason it had value was that they were restricting it, concealing it, and that's sort of the only reason why there was any value in it. But you know, nothing special about it. I like the hawk heads, the birds of prey, Horus. Otherwise, the rest of it, I'd say, wasn't worth it really. I'd say, you know, don't bother paying to go there because it's a disappointment. It's not really worth it. Tutankhamun, you know, working class, and just not worth it really. Anyway, let's head up to Knightsbridge, shall we? Yeah. Wonder everyone asking for that, but then they're the first ones to turn around and say, well, I'd be sort of happy to implement some of the things that they are demanding. They're the first ones to organise protests to stop the thing that they themselves asked for. What on earth is going on with a lot of these guys, you know, seriously? I don't know. So, cheers, thanks. So, I suppose it's just something where they need to be seen to be a bit spiritually wicked to protect themselves from the wickedness that the Babylon is based on. I'm just trying to sort of figure out why people are sort of like this. They're asking for something, so they've got halfway to sort of implementing the sort of ultra, you know, the thing that they're all asking for, and then they're the first ones, working class people, whatever, who are demonstrating, saying, don't do this, don't implement these as what we asked for as policies. We only wanted to curse people and scare people. You know what I mean? And we didn't want anyone to take them literally as you know, something a government could regulate or do something about one way or the other, or possibly even both ways. that they'd actually asked for themselves. But they were saying, nobody said anything, nobody asked for anything, and everyone's been cleared of all wrongdoing. So I'm like, no, here you are, you're asking for the things that you're now demonstrating against. Now the government's implementing these sort of policies that your people, your sort of working class people did sort of ask for. Saying, I imagine they'd sort of say something like, we're not all the same, you know, we all have different views, and that there's no sort of prevailing for or against. You know, there's hundreds of different ways. It's not just a red and blue situation. It's not a black and white situation. It's not checkered. We're not sitting in the Prime Minister's Buckinghamshire sort of country residence. There's all these different ways, and we didn't actually ask for things like that to be implemented as policies. But yes, you did, because, you know, it's widely published, and you can't sort of reinvent truth like that. So really, I'd say with that exhibition, you know, don't bother, because it wasn't all that, and that a lot of the treasure wasn't on display. So they were advertising stuff in the collection, in the Tutankhamun tomb that wasn't actually on display, so I'd say it's a disappointment. What there was, it was what it was good to see, and overall I'd say it was a waste, in that it wasn't really worth wasting that time and money to go and see it. Mind you, it's very early days in the exhibition, but I think for £24.50 it wasn't really worth it, to be honest. So, you know, I'd say don't bother really, because, you know, unless you've got a specific sort of a specific sort of interest in Egyptology, it's not really worth it. So for £10 it'd be worth it, but I think £24.50 and £25 is way too steep for what it was. We're sort of heading up to Knightsbridge and Harrods here, doing one of these walking tours. See so many of them on YouTube now, and they're great things, mostly with commentary or subtitles. And with some sort of camera stabilisation, that might be quite a good thing to consider. See different parts of the world, sort of be in one place and another place at the same time. Virtually, not really, of course, not physically. You can be like one of those pharaohs lives in the netherworld, the other world, and how many different worlds they lived in at the same time. Talking all sorts of rubbish. Sorry, I don't talk like this normally. Just sort of trying to make a film without sounding too monotonous. And there's like really interesting stuff. Every building has its history, everyone, and seeing like this Gothic architecture, those like thin houses, like Dutch house, there's thin sort of house like that you see in Amsterdam place, built just enough to fill a space. It looks like that one might have been transplanted from someplace else, but they've taken the windows and recently sort of built this this add-on here. Maybe not. Maybe it's as old as the one next to it. But you know, see stuff like that sort of catches the eye. Breaks down the monotony a bit. Do virtual sort of, so live stream tours, be one place, be someplace else at the same time. It looks to me like the Danish embassy. So up here is Knightsbridge. It's only taken us 15 minutes to walk from King's Road to nearly to Knightsbridge, whereas in the Saatchi Gallery it took us 1 hour to basically walk inside quite a large tomb. 1 hour to walk a few, maybe 100 metres inside the large Tutankhamun Exhibition, and 15 minutes to walk from King's Road to Knightsbridge, approximately. Most upmarket and exclusive places there, Harrods and Kensington Palace of Diana, the Lady Princess Diana, Princess of our hearts. So we'll take a walk up through Knightsbridge and through Kensington Palace. On the other side, that is Holland Park and Notting Hill Gate, if the battery lasts, if I've got enough space on the phone. If not, likely might cut out and I have to sort of I won't leave you stranded because I'm just walking through London, live streaming and not doing a physical tour where people will get left stranded, but that won't happen, at least not today, at least not here, because it's only a virtual tour, live streamed through the internet. Pubs like this, the Gloucester Arms of the Gloucester pub. Market, sort of classic English pub. Pop in briefly to sort of show everyone Gucci. It's very international down here. United Nations, I think. All the diplomats from all the different countries, a lot of them live here, and in the outer circle in Regent's Park, very international, good things to know, or useful information, whichever way people take it, you know, and trying to put on the most impeccable sort of thing, because you don't want to offend these types of people. Even though what offends them might be completely normal in Islington. We don't want to offend people, so we'll do as the Romans do while in Rome. While we're in Rome, we'll do as Romans do. While we're in Knightsbridge, we'll try and be Italian. So, love the Italian. See these types of shops. I don't see them that often. To actually step out of the box a bit, and you know, to see it all. Everyone's going to all roads lead to the same place. Yes, I know that for sure. There's a further confirmation of that fact. It's quite interesting to see all this. It breaks the monotony, a bit unbearable sort of boredom watching these sort of live streamed tours, certain areas, and then doesn't seem so bad. Seems quite interesting. And those things like having New York.
I wouldn't have put them Christmas trees.
New York subway was probably built sometime after to the standard set by the world's oldest subway, whichever one that was. I talk so again. So many interesting, great people everywhere. Then that's a bit further up or a bit further down, trying to remember. Going through America, and thank God I was American or half American as well as this, you know, because it puts a different slant on everything. It means I don't have to be posh, because I'm also American, where Americans can't possibly be blamed for exclusive membership of the of the Park Tower Club. So that explains that one, clears it up. So It's okay. Anyway, I'm trying to remember where Harrods was. I think I've gone past it. It's further back. But I'm not 100% sure. So I might just continue walking and we'll sort of skip Harrods. Or is it like the Tutankhamun face mask that I didn't get to see? Harrods the same thing. But they don't want me to see that. They want to sort of hide it away. They're sort of showing it to people. Even people have paid money to see it. It's like giving away the money or sort of giving away some mystique, some sort of hidden mystique of Tutankhamun. So let's head back to Harrods and we'll see if we can find Harrods, and where we didn't actually manage to find the Tutankhamun face mask in the exhibition, if it was on display even. So let's go back and see if we can find Harrods. You just asked someone to tell me where Harrods is. That defeats the object of having to sort of find it oneself. So let's. Well, I've got some comments coming in. Thank you very much for posting comments. I'm glad you enjoy the video. I hope you keep watching. Sometimes when I make a comment and I feel intimidated when they read out the comment that I've made, so I sort of understand that, and maybe I should keep my mouth shut when people write comments. I don't know if me sort of commenting on the comments is doing it, it's helping, or so we'll just. It's nice to see someone write a comment that they're enjoying the video, so thank you so much for that. I won't mention any names. So many wonderful, great people everywhere around here. Do you know what? I don't suppose that's Harrods. That cannot be Harrods, can it? That can't be Harrods. Where's Harrods? We're like walking up and down looking for Harrods. I can't find it. But like, that's Harrods. That's it. Harvey Nichols. I'm like thinking like, no, it's down there, isn't it? You've got to laugh though, haven't you? Because you know, I thought that was Harrods. So let's continue our little virtual tour of Upmarket, Knightsbridge. And there it is, that's more like it. So good sort of to see this stuff firsthand. Whichever way you take it, okay. I know it's not exactly the sort of everyone's cup of tea. It's not everyone's cup of tea. So good information. Know your enemy. Know the thing that isn't your cup of tea. If we could all sort of see it that way, that there's no enemy. It's just not a particular cup of tea. Let's go down to Harrods anyway. And see the world famous thing that I know most of you wouldn't usually see very often, or you might forget about it, but then it's useful to sort of see it outside the box, because you know why you don't like that sort of thing. Or alternatively, maybe it's somewhere you'd like to go visit the Diana and do the memorial shrine that they possibly still got inside there. Unless the Russians have taken it over, I imagine it's still there. The Russians, or some guys who happen to be Russian, expressing interest in buying up Arabian assets, or maybe Braj or the Brexit mob will Max Mosley tax, you know, who knows, they're the guys, they want us to take it, I don't know. But just because we're going there doesn't necessarily mean that we're sort of for that type of thing. So it's just good sort of to know, isn't it? So sort of go inside the building. I don't know if I'm going to go in there and make a film live streaming talking like this, whether they're going to tolerate that, or whether we're going to head straight up to Holland Park if the battery still works. So we're sort of imagine if it's streamed in high definition, the battery won't last for much longer, so we'll sort of try and get as far as we can inside the Harrods equivalent of the Tutankhamun Exhibition, the shrine of Princess Diana, the princess of our hearts. And the rest of it I don't really care much for, you know, but it's probably worth going in to see that, and then everything else just it's their sort of thing that where they then start being awfully nice to when they realise that it's mine, that really it's mine. Then I'm like proud because they're horrible to me. And you know, they say, who say like that? Oh, American, right? It's American. How come it's yours for American? And I'm like, I don't know. They say I'm not properly British. I'm not really British. So I just say I'm American, but really British by birth and stuff, I suppose, by DNA and ancestry and everything. But I feel more American, so I just say American, but I've got an American passport and a British passport, so I'm dual nationality. I'm one and also the other. One and also the other. It's one or the other. You'll be dual national. Well, if the Russians take it, you're just handing it to the Russians. Harrods would be Dobrovolskis or something. You know what I mean? The Alexander Pushkin. Cheers, mate. Thanks. The Alexander Pushkin tar. Don't know if I'm allowed to film in here, so I better ask if it's okay to do that. And if they tell me not to, then I'll switch the camera off immediately. This Harrods. Very nice people, very charming people actually. You forget how nice they truly are. How welcoming, hospitable and truly lovely people. Lovely store. just go through all the perfume vaults, Arabian, find sort of Arabian textiles, perfumes, medicines, I dare say. So there's something going on now. Something, creativity in progress. I'll make people sort of wonder what sort of stuff's going on. Cool thing. If I'm allowed to film, if I'm not, tell me to stop filming. I'll switch the camera off immediately. It's best, most brilliant, amazing Arabian perfumes. Finest, amazing stuff, for sure. Big programs, got all that Tutankhamun stuff, so thank God I live streamed it, because if they ask me to delete it, I've got so much from the exhibition on there, so it's good. But if they tell me to switch this off, I have to immediately. So even though the guy, this is just the ground floor, by the way, so there's another, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 floors of this repeated. It is huge, massive, and they said it was okay, the door to film, but each department would have its own filming policy, so if they tell me to switch it off, I have to without question. Make connects it. All these are shops within a shop. Well, we don't often see this. Shops within the shops. So we've pretty much done a square of the ground floor all the way. Walking from into the shop, the whole square of the ground floor basically complete. So we'll end up in the same place as we entered, and then hope you appreciate this lovely, amazing place.